Here's a short story that I absolutely could not wait to cover after I read it this morning while I was having my coffee. All about a guy who's engaged and they're preparing the wedding process, and his fiancée wants to have a $400,000 wedding. $400,000. And as you can imagine, this guy couldn't believe it. And instantly, he's now demanding a prenup because he doesn't trust her, calling her a gold digger, and it is a big giant mess. And he's wondering, is he the a-hole here? And that'll be a hilarious one to go over here, guys, to show you what happens if you don't really get to know your girl too well. If she starts showing the signs of being a gold digger, it is time to cut her loose. There's no prenup with these types of shit. You get rid of her. And what is going through her head to actually want a $400,000 reception or a whole wedding and that type of thing. Title: Am I the a-hole for telling my girl that she's a gold digger after she refused a prenup? This is I, a 28-year-old male, and my fiancée, a 26-year-old female, have been dating for 5 years. We met during college, and I have been inseparable ever since. I currently run my own catering business while she works as a financial advisor. The financial advisor wants a $400,000 wedding. Isn't it her job to advise people to make smart, money-making decisions? Right? And by the way, she's a financial advisor, 26. What experience does she really have in that department? I mean, sure, she can be coached and study market history and things like that, have common sense, but she wants the $400,000. Maybe she ought to coach future gold diggers how to get suckers. That's what she ought to do. During our relationship post-college, I've been earning quite a bit more than her, and for the most part, I'm completely fine with it. I pay for all our household expenses and didn't really expect her to contribute anything. Smack! No. You have to have her pay. Otherwise, she starts going into princess mode, which she has. And you have been enabling her behavior. But I know what's going on here. He's feeling successful, and hey, he has his own catering business. He's making darn good money. Not $400,000 wedding good money, but good money. And he wants to feel like the big, strong man taking care of his woman. Well, it's going to bite him in the butt. But we're not done yet. She wants to go back to college to get her master's, so I've always told her to save up for college, and I would take care of the rest. She's genuinely the love of my life. She's smart, charismatic, gorgeous, and is extremely kind and patient with me. Well, no kidding. I would too if somebody was doing all that for me. Some girl was doing all that for me. Oh, I'd be treating her like the queen. If she was paying for everything and I could save everything I make, sure. Of course she's on her best behavior. Until that ring's on her finger. For the moment I've been dating, I felt like she was going to be the best I was ever going to have. So regrettably, I started treating her as such. I bought her lavish gifts, took her on fancy dinners, and the more my business flourished, the more I would spoil her. Smack! She's an a-hole, as you guys are going to really see, but this guy enables her behavior. All right? And I want to hear, she's the love of my life. Obviously, she knows what she's doing. She's charismatic, she's gorgeous, she's in the prime, Good Lord. A month ago, during our New York trip, I proposed to her. Up to that point, it was the best day of my life, but the devil had other plans for me, I guess. As soon as we came back from our vacation, the shitstorm started. He put that ring on her finger, the engagement ring. They're not married yet. And now the true color. Remember, guys, when you give women certainty, that's when bullshit starts. The more certainty you get, like no matter what, you're not going away, more bullshit. That engagement ring, that's a big sign of certainty. She's like, oh, I got this guy, I can get what I want. She started looking for venues and took charge in planning our wedding. Aren't you in the catering business? Shouldn't you be taking some charge here about some things? I was generally happy and couldn't wait, but when I saw the price of our dream wedding, I started to question everything. With the venue and everything else, it totaled $400,000. 400 grand? Who does this chick think she is? Where are they having the wedding reception? The White House? Is she going to ride in on a freaking elephant and have gold in her dress? And I mean, seriously. Sounds like someone's been watching so many of these housewife shows, those Real Housewives, so-called reality shows, and she wants to be the real housewife of wherever the hell they live. Initially, I thought she would pay for a chunk of it since she had massive savings by now, but when I asked her, she told me it was my duty as a man to pay for the wedding. Well, of course, You enabled her behavior. And you think all that money she saved away as a financial advisor, that she's going to piss it away? No, no, no. She knows that you're so invested. She knows she has all the power in the relationship. So of course she's making this demand. You moron. We got into a huge argument that evening, and I went to stay at my parents' house. Tell the bitch to leave. I told them everything. I know I earn well, but there was no way I was spending $500,000 on a wedding. My parents were on my side and told me that their friend who plans weddings would give me an offer for a much cheaper wedding. In the meantime, I should ask my fiancée for a prenup. They told me they always had suspicions about her being with me because money. They never told me since, in their words, their precious boy was so happy. Smack to the parents. Come on, parents, you owe it to your kids to tell them the fucking truth. God's sakes. And I wasn't their place to tell me how to spend my money. Well, this guy's a grown-ass man. He can do what he wishes with his money. However, they can tell him their suspicions of her. Yeah, I know they don't want to... Typical Gen X parents, they don't want to upset their baby boy. I called her that same evening and told her that I was getting someone else to plan our wedding. She initially seemed hesitant, but later relented and agreed, and then apologized for planning such an outlandish wedding. The only reason she's apologizing and backing down is she's starting to doubt. Starting to realize, I might lose this guy, so okay, I went home the next day and dropped a second bomb on her. I wanted a prenup. Oh no, she's with this guy for the gravy train. She's not getting a prenup. At this, she wasn't so easily defeated. She went into a full-on mental breakdown, calling me emotionally abusive and a manipulative a-hole. Well, it takes one to know one. Who is the one who's being abusive? Who's the one being a manipulator, right? Think about it. It takes one to freaking know one. She's a master. And by the way, how much money, in the comments I heard that she apparently had saved up like $500,000 over these years by not having to pay for anything and investing and all that. And this guy, what kind of catering business does this guy have, by the way? Seriously. And wasn't catering businesses really hurt 2020, 2021? All that? Unless this guy, he caters for very wealthy customers here. She probably has more money than he does. I clearly told her that I had been paying for everything, and as a result, she has had a lot of savings. I told her that her refusing was a deal breaker for me. I told her that I was blindsided by her behavior all these years because I generally loved her to death. Yeah, and you were a fool. She then told me that I earned much more than her, and it was unfair for me to deny her any part of it as my wife. Can you imagine what she's going to be like as his wife? Oh my God. I just called her a gold digger and had get the F out of my house. There you go. You finally grew a pair. She's currently staying at her parents'. Her mother now has been blowing up my phone telling me that I shouldn't have proposed something so selfish to her and that calling her a gold digger really hurt her feelings. She then demanded an apology from me and I haven't bothered responding. Yeah, we'll tell her gold digger mother to kiss your ass. Gold digger mom, you think she's going to benefit from this too? To me, this whole situation is insane. Don't get me wrong, I still love my fiancée to death, but this whole saga really opened my eyes at how spoiled and entitled I made her. Yeah, and you know what? Good, you can admit that you create a monster here. But something tells me she knew who she was getting. She probably saw the ambition in him early, and she knew who she was settling with. I feel like I have enabled her behavior, and maybe I was wrong for blindsiding her with everything. No, you're not. She is the a-hole here. Don't let the, what am I going to do without her crap get away from your common sense. You reacted appropriately. Don't get me wrong, I'm still asking for a prenup, but I feel like I should I apologize for dumping everything at once on her? Should I apologize? Am I the a-hole here? Smack! You're the a-hole for enabling her behavior. You're an a-hole for spoiling her all these years. You're the a-hole for that. But you're not an a-hole for freaking out over a $400,000 wedding. You're not an a-hole for wanting a prenup. You're not an a-hole for calling her a gold digger based on her reaction and her behavior. But you are an a-hole for all those things you did. She's an a-hole too, and you need to get as far away from her as possible. End it. But do you think this guy has the balls to do that? No, because he's going to think of all the good times with her and how sweet and charming and charismatic that he said in the beginning of the story here. A little more, he says here, I never expected such a massive response. Thank you so much. I know I could have handled things much differently and set clear boundaries to begin with, but again, I was just blindsided with love. Smack! I think this dude is probably they're definitely overseas. They're not in the United States. Let me put it that way. I found that in the comments section. I think this dude very likely may be from an Indian background. Things I've pieced together here. And you Indian guys here, you know your culture. You know you guys can be massive simps to the women. I justified her behavior as just a thing as I had to as a man. We live in quite a conservative country, ding, 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 where typical gender roles are preached. And no, we don't live in the U.S., so please stop me with the baby trap and child support comments. And to those confused about my company, me and my best friend started running ghost kitchens here in Europe across a few countries. When people ask what I do, I usually say catering, since it's much easier to explain. I also want to apologize for my poor English, blah, 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 whatever. So, I don't know what the hell a ghost kitchen is, but if he's making a lot of money and it's legal, good for him. Bro, you're not getting a prenup. You need to end it with her. Okay? Over. Otherwise, she's going to continue milking you. Look how much she's gotten out of this with you, okay? And you need to kick her to the curb, end a freaking story here, and don't buy into her waterworks and the gaslighting and shaming from her mom, and anybody else that's going to come in the picture. You cannot be with her. Listen to your parents. They know darn well that you're making a mistake here with her, okay? End it with her, move on. You spend a fortune on her, and hopefully the next time around you learn reality. You don't need to do that to get a girl. Nobody's going to respect anybody that's going to buy their affection, and that's what you've been doing. And I know you're trying to feel like the strong man taking care of the little misses here. Well, look what that's got you, right? So no. And in the future, don't do these types of crazy things to get someone's affection for you. And in the meantime, the next time you get into a relationship, because I'm hoping this guy ends it with her, don't flaunt your wealth. That's the dumbest thing you can do, because then they're going to be like, ooh, and they'll attract another gold digger your way. So guys, there you go. $400,000 wedding, not request, demand. Watch out, you relationship guys.